are creating a new carousel and a new system of cataloging our audio. And at the moment, I just haven't wanted to overcrowd the site or make stuff just go away really quick from carousel images on the front page because of we have too much stuff. That audio content's always going to be there. I'm thinking about populating our catalog with that audio once we get our new overhaul of the site. So once that starts happening, then the audio will go to iTunes. I know people are very frustrated because we haven't been putting up the audio, and people just bear with us because you don't know what's going on. I can't blame you, but we are very conscious of that, and we've been trying for months now to figure out a way around it, and we just found a solution. We're going to get a new player too, which will help us with that. We're going to be on something called Bright Cove, so hopefully that will satisfy people who keep asking for the audio because I would love to put up the audio also myself. So there you go.
Okay, so Let's Go Broncos asks, hey guys, what are your thoughts on the upcoming remakes, The Crazies and A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Well, I know you have a lot of thoughts about that, so why don't you go ahead?
Well, actually, it's really simple. I'm excited about both of them for different reasons. One, The Crazies is a perfect example of what I consider to be a perfect remake. Conceptually, The Crazies, if you go back and watch the original Crazies, it's not a really great movie. It's got a great premise, but George Romero, who directed it, was hamstrung by the budget. He was still a young director and still hadn't learned everything that he ultimately learned to make some really great films. And I feel that it's one of his weakest films. And it was a film that I saw on the big screen several years back at a Romero Fest. And watching it, I just couldn't help but think, man, I would love to see a remake of this. So when they announced it, I was like, hey, great. And then when I found out that it was directed by Breck Eisner, who did Sahara, which if you haven't seen Sahara, Sahara was actually really fun. He did a really solid job adapting is it a Clive Cussler book? Is that the name of the guy who wrote it? Anyhow, made a really fun movie, used Rainn Wilson before most people knew who Rainn Wilson was. It was like his first year on The Office, and he's really funny in the movie, and he captured just some great stuff out of the various actors like Steve Zahn and Matthew McConaughey. And so seeing that he did this and then watching the trailer and knowing the material, I have a strong feeling that that's going to be a cool movie. Then, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's one of those movies that it's a really, really great film that's really dated. I remember showing my wife that movie. She had never seen it growing up. And I was like, how have you not seen Nightmare on Elm Street? I got to show you Nightmare on Elm Street. And we watched it, and she's like, yeah, that was cool, but it wasn't really scary. Now, the next morning, she came to me and she's like, oh, my God, I kept having dreams all night. And it's like, yeah, that's what Nightmare on Elm Street does. But she admitted that it was a scarier idea than it was a movie. I mean, there's that silly scene where Freddy Krueger's coming through the wall, and you can tell that it's latex. And it's just an actor going through latex. So I think that it's also prime for a remake, and the fact that they got someone really awesome like
Jackie Earle Haley
to play Freddy Krueger, it's something I want to see. And again, I like remakes. I look at them like cover songs. Nobody is going to come to your house and take your copy of Nightmare on Elm Street away just because they're making a new one, and nobody's going to twist your arm and force you to see this one. You might go, but I'm a movie fan, I have to see it anyway. Well, all right, then shut up. Then go see it and quit your bitching if you feel you have to see it. But personally, I think I have hopes for both of these.
Yeah, the only thing that I have against remakes is if they don't try to do anything different, or if they just try to cover what was most popular about the predecessors and condense it into like one thing, like a greatest hits type film. That was what was my problem with Friday the 13th. And I didn't like that movie because it just seemed like, oh, we're taking all the highlights of this and just throwing them in there just to get a response out of people instead of just making a cool film. It didn't really do anything different. If Nightmare on Elm Street does something different with it, which I can improve on some of the things that made because I'm with you, man. I thought the first movie, it was a creepy idea, but I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it years later, and by that point, I had seen a lot of the other movies, and that movie it wasn't as scary to me as it was for some people. I saw it, and I was just like, this is actually kind of goofy in some parts, but great idea. My favorite movie out of it is Dream Warriors out of the whole series.
Oh, Dream Warriors is awesome.
Yeah,
Frank Darabont worked on that one.
Yeah, he did, and with the screenplay on that, and I
Yeah.
thought I thought that was a great. It wasn't so much even a horror film. It was almost like an adventure fantasy film almost.
It was because it did that great flip flop where it put the power in the hands of the characters of the characters could actually fight back against Freddy, and it made Freddy scary again. Now, what's interesting is you mentioned that they should do something different. I know for a fact that they're trying to do something different. Whether it all works out in the final release, we'll see. But one of the things they talked about was the fact that the first version of Nightmare on Elm Street was sanitized by the studio because they were afraid of ooking people out with the whole child molestation aspect. And so Freddy was just a child murderer, not a child molester and murderer. And, being that is so pervasive in our culture now, you can actually get away with that and allow Freddy to be more disturbing on a more primal level.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cool angle to go with, that this isn't just a guy who's angry because he got murdered. He's a guy who was really fucked up to begin with and really a terrible, terrible, horrible, nasty person who has been granted a supernatural ability to come back and fuck with kids again.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying about remakes. I agree with you. I'm not a hater of remakes when people want to do them. If I think that they're doing something to finesse the film that where it was lacking before, like in the case of The Crazies, you're right. I like The Crazies. I like the George Romero film, but it could use a lot of polishing. And I think that's one of those films that could use a remake, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to judge these remakes based on how they are for me. Again, like I'm not going to criticize Nightmare on Elm Street because it's a remake. And I know a lot of people are, because that movie has, it is now a legendary film. But like you said, if they can go in and make something creepier, or if they can make it more tragic, or if they can make it scarier, I'm all for that. And I think a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of needs it at this point. So you, what else you got?
Well, why don't we go to a question from you? We're actually running out of time.
Oh yeah, we are at the hour mark here. So we got a question from Johnny Appleseed. Wishes us a happy Chinese New Year. And this is a real easy question, man. We don't have to dwell on this too much. This is a good question to take us out. Every year people ask us what our favorite Valentine's Day movies are, our favorite romantic films, and I think we all, both of us have our really quick answer that we're just ready to give out. And Johnny Appleseed asks, he says, well, we also know it's Valentine's Day, and I was wondering, from a couple of Don Juans like yourself, can you recommend a movie that can get my lady friend in the mood? You want to answer?
Why don't you go first? Because that I'm a little unprepared for. Getting your lady friend in the mood. Well, is that a euphemism, or are you actually dating a girl?
I don't know what he's trying to do. I'm just going to take it as he wants to make out with his friend. Now it depends. If you're of age and your friend is a freak and you want to get down with a raw and nasty, then go rent a porn. But if you want to if she's a classy girl, and well, look, what am I talking about? I prefer the freaks. I don't want to make them sound like they're not classy. But if your girl likes romance, and that's the thing that's going to get it for her, then I would recommend my favorite romantic comedy, which is I was about to say Love Actually. That's yours. God damn it! I love it so much I can't remember the name of it. God,
it's that awesome.
It's that awesome. Jesus Christ! Jump Tomorrow is probably not just a romantic comedy for me, but it's a very romantic film, period, and that's what I would recommend. It's one of the first times I saw the lead singer of TV for the radio. Before he was a singer, he was in this movie as a lead actor, and it's a very sweet independent film. And
yeah, but it's not a lady friend mood movie.
So what would you think is a lady friend mood movie?
Well, it's a real toss-up. I mean, my instincts would lean towards The Notebook, because The Notebook, it's a really solid film. It's actually really good. It's the best romantic film of the last decade. But I'm not certain. The problem with that film is you might end up with her crying.
That's what I was going to say. Why would you recommend that? You want to depress her?
Well, because it depends on this is one of those situations, recommending a lady friend mood movie. It's different for everyone. I mean, that's like saying, can you recommend a movie that will scare my sister? It's like, well, who's your sister?
Well, can I tell you why? I do understand, but there's some elements there that could kind of work for a broad base of people. I mean, it might not work for everybody individually, but this is the reason why I say Jump Tomorrow, because Jump Tomorrow is not goofy, it's not over the top comedy, it's very subtle comedy. It's very sweet characters in the movie, and it makes you laugh. I mean, when it's done, your girl is not only going to be in a romantic mood because it's a very romantic film, but she's also going to be in a good mood. And look, if you make a girl laugh, that's some for some chicks. That's an aphrodisiac.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And then but at the same time, a girl who's laughing, it doesn't actually put her in the mood to, put her in your arms, whereas if she's crying, it's so much easier to put your arms around her and comfort her and there, baby, I'm here for you. And then, once she gets the good cry out, you're still holding her and you start stroking her hair, and the next thing you know,
old Jed's a millionaire.
That's right.
No, I can see it working that way.
Hey, you don't put it there.
I just had experience where girls when they get in that mood, they just like, can I talk to you later? I'm just like,
I mean, it's always a gamble. Like, I remember when me and my wife were dating, I got What Dreams May Come, and I was like, oh, this will be great. We'll watch a nice romantic movie. It's cool. It's about a guy in the afterlife. It'll be awesome. And we'll sit down and watch it, and then we'll fall, we'll go to bed, we'll be in each other's arms, it'll be great. And instead she cried for 2 hours straight, oh my God, you're going to die on me and leave me forever. It's like, oh my God, what did I do? And it was literally one of those most awkward post-movie moments of my life. 2 hours she cried while I comforted her.
Oh, you're right. It's a gamble.
No play. I mean, it was.
Yeah, because you're right, it's a gamble. Like, some girls might appreciate that you are sensitive enough to rent something like The Notebook, and they appreciate that, but then you take the risk of them just being just really sad, and
you could always, you know what I would do with The Notebook? I would start trying to make out with her when they hook up towards the end of the movie before we get back to them as old people, because that might actually totally work for you, because it's totally romantic up until that point. Until it's so uber romantic that you explain the plot to people and people's hearts break. I mean, if you start getting things started early, that may totally work for you.
Maybe you'll get a chick who hasn't seen the movie. You could edit it down with all the happy parts and just be like, that's it, the end. But I heard it was a tragedy. No, you heard wrong. Those people, they don't have a sense of humor. This is a great movie.
No, the book was a tragedy, baby. If you read the book, you'll see it's got a different ending. But this one ends happy. In fact, it's about to end really happy.
Yeah, just get a drunk while you're watching the movie. That gets the mood.
Trails to you until we meet again.
All right, you ready to get out of here then?
Happy trails to you.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. What are you talking about?
All
right, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.